Whenever a new hero comes out, most people expect it to be super broken, and I don't blame them. Look at the last year or so of new heroes: Nolan, Arlott, Novaria, Joy, Fredrin, with only Ixia being mediocre at launch, but still pretty solid later on. With the release of Cici, I've seen a general opinion of negative feedback because she isn't dealing ridiculous numbers like Nolan, or tanking Fredrin amounts of damage. And at first, I agreed too, but after playing Cici for quite a few amount of games, with a pretty good win rate so far, I've come to the conclusion that Cici might actually be an S tier hero. Any of you who say I'm wrong or it's because NA server is easy, for those wannabe coaches, look at M5 Grand Finals, MVP, XP laner, Flap TZ, with Cici being his second most played hero with a fantastic win rate in the Philippines server. So I'm here to show you how to actually play her. Here are the timestamps for each section in this video. First, I'll go over Cici as a hero with how you should play her and her skill set. Cici is not meant to be a damage hero or a super tanky hero. Cici is purely an annoying hero. What I mean by annoying hero is that you don't qualify for a one-shot hero or a super tanky hero. You're meant to just ruin the enemy's mental and apply pressure to them, so where they get scared or they are much more easier to, screw up and make game losing mistakes. And that's something that not a lot of people understand or see right now. Instead of comparing her to other dive fighters like Yuzong or Lapu Lapu, think of her more as a Uranus or Esmeralda kind of hero. Not going to burst you in one go, but is definitely faster than you and will win in a prolonged fight through sustain and mobility. Cici's passive, Performer's Delight, gives her 0.75% move speed and spell vamp per stack up to 10 stacks. You get 1 stack by dealing damage, typically with autos or yo-yo blitz. When achieving max stacks, the total effect doubles up to 15% move speed and spell vamp. Pretty self-explanatory. Cici's first skill, yo-yo blitz, is her main source of damage and the base of her entire kit. When you use it, you'll see a circle around you, and that's your range for your single target yo-yo that deals HP base damage. The yo-yo does prioritize heroes, but keep in mind, the yo-yo prioritizes the closest target, whether it be minions or heroes. So if you're on minions and there's a hero in range, it'll focus the hero, but even if you go on heroes, it'll focus whatever hero is closest to you. When clearing waves, I recommend you auto attack the melee minion and the caster minion till they're close to dying, as a yo-yo single target can take even longer to clear the wave alone. An even faster method to clear waves would be to yo-yo the cannon minion first, then finish off the smaller minions afterwards. But you have to be behind the waves, don't do this unless you know the enemies are not nearby. Cici's second skill, Buoyant Bounce, is a dash that can go over walls. If she dashes on top of an ally or enemy, you will be able to have a smaller dash in the direction you're moving towards. Essentially, it's an escape or engage tool. But something you might not realize is that Buoyant Bounce does 200 damage level 1, which makes it actually a pretty good early game trading tool. Use it to be really aggressive at the end of your first skill CD or when you're going in right away. So don't be afraid to use it for damage instead of holding on to it thinking it's only a dash. Cici's ultimate skill, Curtain Call, throws a link at an enemy hero when used. The link will attach to another enemy hero nearby, and both heroes will be slowed by 30% and slowly pull towards each other, keeping them close together. When Cici uses Yo-Yo Blitz, it can attack both targets at once instead of its original single target nature. Cici will also hit any linked target with a second Yo-Yo that does decaying damage, similar to an Atan or Mia clone. Upgrading the skill increases the threshold for the decayed damage. Do not be afraid to use this skill. Cici will almost never be able to one-shot switch your heroes, even with one ult combo, unless you have, a massive lead or a bunch of damage items, which I recommend you shouldn't. I like to use Curtain Call before a fight whenever it's up on the front line to do chip damage or dive the back, or I'll dive the back line and throw it on them as an engage for my team to follow up on. Since you build a lot of cooldown reduction on Cici, this skill's cooldown ends up being really short towards the mid-late game, being a 19-second cooldown with max CDR. Now, I will give you some examples of skill combos for different situations. Cici only really has 3 combos, either 2-3-1 or 3-1-2 for hard dive, or if you really want the maximum damage combo, 1-2-3-1 for a longer combo that maximizes all the damage, Going into a team fight, if I want to chip the front line and play it slow, I would use Curtain Call or whatever sluggish tank, jungle, or roam that's in front, and slowly walk in their faces while hitting them with Yo-Yo Blitz. The enemy team cannot walk up if their front line is too low, or they will try to desperately do something seeing that their front line is low. Now, if they don't try to do something, then I will either eventually back off once they get scared and run, or slow chase, looking to engage if it looks good enough, saving buoyant bounce to escape or to engage once I make that call. If I want to dive the backline, I would get full war axe stacks and passive stacks off a minion or jungle camp and try to flank. Or I'll pretend to play it slow, get full stacks off the front line, tank, jungle, whatever, and then I will buoyant bounce off of them towards the backline, and then use curtain call on the backline, slowing them down, making it easy to chase for me and my team. If I'm alone trying to 1v2, split push, or 1v1, you must get full stacks first on minions by playing safe. Even when fed, Cici does not do damage without full war axe stacks, unless you have like some wacky ass build, which you really should. It's very easy to catch up and stick on an enemy hero with Cici's insane mid-late game mobility. Now, before I go into the emblems and items, I will be telling you what you will struggle with the most playing Cici. My best advice to help prepare yourself for those situations. The number one thing you will struggle with is, ironically, CC, or crowd control, as you may know it by. What crowd control is stuns, knockups, snares, all that kind of stuff. Now you might say, can't every hero be countered with CC? And you are correct, but it's different with Cici. With Cici, you have to be constantly in the enemy's face to actually make use of her. If you are staying back and waiting till the enemy team uses their crowd control skills, it really means there's no point in picking Cici in the first place, as you're not going to get any value out of her. Now you can use Purify to counter this, and I'll talk more about that later. Cici's next biggest counter, in terms of heroes, is hard burst damage heroes and assassins. Any damage hero that can burst Cici before she can get her full stacks, passive, war axe, brute force, all those kind of stacks, or any lane bully hero that can shut her down in the early game, Cici needs items to properly function, and leaving her vulnerable to dive assassin junglers or one-shot petrify cheese XP heroes. The only workaround for these situations as a Cici player is to kind of suck it up and buy a lot of defense items early and delay your damage items. Now this in itself, you're kind of countering yourself, but you have to do it, otherwise you'll be useless for the rest of the game. The reason why I left emblems and items for last is because I see most guides talk about emblems and items first. But I think explaining how the hero works helps the viewers, understand the hero first, so they see why these items are good or why they should go this emblem. War Axe will always be your first main item, since Cici is barely a hero without it. The sustain and bonus damage at max stacks is necessary for her to function as a hero. Sometimes I won't even buy tier 1 boots until I finish the War Axe. After War Axe, you'd obviously buy your boots. Whether it be, warrior, I don't like magic shoes, I think you're too squishy, and you end up building max TDR by your full build anyway. The second main item to purchase is either brute force or oracle, preferably brute force unless there's a lot of damage on the enemy team, a lot of magic damage that is. Third main item, I will buy whichever item didn't buy beforehand, or unless I'm really fed, I'll buy a bloodlust axe so I can further push my snowball lead. The fourth main item should be a hard defense item, depending on what the enemy's team damage mostly consists of, or whatever damage dealer is focusing you. When I say hard defense item, I'm not referring to a Thunderbolt, Queen's Wings, like those kind of items that, are kind of more for bruisers doing damage against some tankiness. I'm referring to the hard defense items like Antique Cuirass, Blade Armor, Athena Shield, or Radiant. Now, you might have noticed that I said Blade Armor, not Dominance Ice. I don't like Dominance Ice on Cici because her whole kit is based on kiting and chasing. You're not really making the most use out of the Dominance Ice passive. Walking around in their faces, you kind of dance around the edge of your first skill range, and they're not going to be really in your face because you're going to be kiting them the whole time. If you really need anti-heal, you can buy Sea Halberd, which would work much better in my opinion. As for your last main item, it's up to preference. I like Immortality and then swapping into Winter Trunch. You could use another damage item like Rose Gold, Malefic, or BOD, or there's another tank item if you think you need more defense. Here's the complete build path. You can pause the video if you want to look at it. Now, as for your spell that you should run, I don't like Sprint. I see a lot of people talk about using Sprint, and me personally, I'm not a big fan. Cici's first skill time frame does not really last that long, and it does not really make much use of the Sprint time frame itself. I think it's better off to yo-yo blitz, wait till it's back from CD, and then surprise the enemy by flickering, then yo-yo blitz. It's more unexpected and can cover distance instantly, giving less time to react. It's better than sprinting, making it very obvious you're going to chase, and you give the enemy time to react, to use spells or whatever. Something I don't see anyone really talk about is using Purify on Cici. It's actually very strong into Cici heavy comps, as I mentioned earlier, which are one of her biggest weaknesses. Purify helps counter the counter. It makes it easier for you to frontline, knowing that you can Purify if the enemy's Kufor jumps on you, or enemy's Guinevere jumps on you, or Nana hits her polymorph into her now stupid ult damage combo. Nothing can be done for a Franco or Kaja ult though. For emblems, Fighter Emblem is the obvious choice. It gives Cici everything she needs, spell vamp, defense, and some damage. As for the talents, Tier 2 and Tier 3 are pretty easy to choose. More spell vamp with Festival of Blood on Tier 2, with bonus sustain on Brave Smite Tier 3. The Tier 1 talent is the only one that has more versatility. My personal favorite is Thrill, as it helps Cici with weaker wave clear, and for those who don't know already, raw damage does more to minions than penetration. You could alternatively go Agility as a better mid-late game talent, scaling better so you have more move speed by then, or Rupture for slightly more damage to heroes early, or Firmness in case you are playing a bad matchup or the enemy's team looks scary and you want to play it safe. Now, I will explain to you and commentate a Cici gameplay video from yours truly to give you a better visual understanding of everything I've talked about so far. Now we're going to do the gameplay review. I have two games here. Both games are versus a counter matchup versus Deroth. And one game though, the enemy knows what they're doing and knows how to play the counter matchup, but I still beat him in the end because I outscaled. Or another game where he doesn't know what he's doing, but he still tries to do the counter matchup. But since I know how to play against it, I end up beating him and, you know, stomping the game. So going into this game right away, this is going to be the harder game first. So right away, the Deroth does a smart play, gets his energy up first from the jungle camp when he helped clear it. I'm playing very safe here because I know he wins. He goes for some early poke cheese. Now keep in mind, this Deroth is running High End Dry and Petrify as a sort of cheese strategy to really see if he can, you know, shut me down. And for the most part, it works for the early game. See how I'm pulling the minion to the side here, trying to hold it so I don't have to walk up for the wave. That way he can't just perma-freeze me and I take damage every single time. But he's playing it smart, trying to poke me out with his first skill. I'm trying to get some poke on him as well, but he's certainly out trading me right now. I use my second skill to get a bit of chip damage there. Like how I talked about, you can use a second skill to get some chip damage, not always just a dash. Here I'm being really aggressive because my team is, if you can see on the map, my team is right there in that bush. I'm trying to bait him to go into me so my team can follow up, but he doesn't fall for the bait because he knows something's fishy. Now again, playing super safe. He goes in for a bit of aggression, but I try to out trade and do some damage. Now we're both extremely low. Now this was a bit of a bad call to try and do that. Earlier when I was pushing up and you know, trying to bait him in my team, I did see the Lunox, and because I saw a Lunox, I should have taken that as a sign to play very safe and not take damage. But I got greedy trying to out trade him and potentially look for a kill to where his jungler capitalized off that and killed me very easily. So something you always have to be mindful of is, especially in these counter matchups, is where's the enemy jungler or the mid lane, because they can kill you too. Now level 4 is delayed, so I'll have to clear his way first and go help. Now I do go help. Now I'm just playing this fight. I ult Kufa right away, do a bunch of damage to him, focus him. I don't need to be focusing the jungler, as the jungler already died. Just ult him right away, commit damage, burst him down, go back to lane. Now Deroth is still certainly stronger than me. I may have a kill advantage, but he's still, it's a counter is a counter. You can see I'm struggling here just to 1v1 him. I tried baiting him under my tower, which he did fall for. It took a bit of damage. I think I'm in the lead here. And I try to do some more aggressive trading. He purifies, but he petrifies really well. I purify. He petrifies really well and ults to where my purify won't save me because I thought I could go backwards. And I die. So again, he played that very, very well. Now, while I am heading back to lane, you can see Deroth is staying, kind of overstaying here. He's trying to shove the wave in, get one more wave, being a little greedy. So I'm going to use my buoyant bounce quite the far range with my ult as well and kill him. But you know, see, he is a counter matchup, so he's still almost able to kill me. Now, if you weren't paying attention to the map, we probably weren't, but across the map, I just saw 3 people fight bot and the jungler die. So I know nobody's going to come in here anytime soon. You might think I'm being really greedy here, staying alone, and it's just stupidity, but I actually knew nobody would be anywhere nearby. So that's why I'm able to greed like this. I wasn't just doing it because I didn't see anything. Now, it's not an excuse either, because I care very much about my CC win rate, so whenever I play this hero, I'm just full tryhard. Now Deeroth, now he has no Flicker or Purify. So with Petrify as his main spell, and being a full damage build, very easy to kill. Very easy to kill. And that's the thing with counter matchups, is that since they know, they're led to believe they will always win the 1v1, and which they probably will, that doesn't include a 1v2. So a lot of the time, you can bait them into going in on you, and either have a jungler, roamer, mid laner nearby, who can just jump on them after they go on you, and they're just dead. Because they commit everything onto you, thinking that like, oh, it's a free kill, he's being aggressive, type of thing. You'll see right here in a moment that Hoon does the exact same thing in the Kadita, where this guy tries to be aggressive, and he just gets punished for it. And honestly, he doesn't even need to petrify here. He already wasted a second skill, but he's gonna do it anyway. He's dead. Boom. Now at this point, you know, Deeroth will certainly still counter me in a 1v1 pure sense, but he is not going to do well versus the rest of my team with how far behind he is. Well, that's if he was a normal Deeroth. He is using a cheese build with the petrify, so as long as he goes on a squishy and they don't have purify, they're probably dead with the petrify burst combo. Now you can see right here, I'm being really aggressive to Lunox. Deeroth just respawned, so I know he's not anywhere nearby. I don't see the roamer anywhere. And with my lead, I am taking his jungle camps, denying him the camps. With Cici, if you are fed, it is very rare that a jungler could actually kill you, especially at this stage of the game where they don't have other damage yet, because of how much sustain you have with the War Axe and all your spell vamp. So I'm being a real nuisance to the enemy jungler right now, or really annoying, just by taking her camps, denying her any farm, and denying her the chance to scale, while shoving my wave in so that they always have to address my wave. Now I can rotate. I don't think it's a good idea to constantly rotate for team fights as Cici, because she's a very, very dominating split pusher. Not even the fact that her tower damage is good, but about her presence. She can steal camps, do good damage, be really annoying, and the wave clear is a little lacking for sure, but you can't catch up to her with how fast she is, her hops and all that stuff. I can solo zone Navaria like that out of the tower range just to get this mid tower here by being that aggressive with my ult and first skill. Now Kufa tried to stop him from taking the blue. I believe he lives. And here I'm going back top to make sure Deeroth doesn't take a free tower. So we have all three of our turrets. It's never a good idea to over-rotate as an EXP. Oh, Deeroth being really aggressive right here. Onto Joy. Doesn't seem like he expected it. And he dies. Now I Purify here to get back. And I'm going to sustain off the turtle here. Even though I'm very low, I have still a lot of sustain. Deeroth thinks he can kill me, and he doesn't. He dies. Now here I am, trying to pull the Lunox away from the turtle. She's trying to get the kill. And now my team, I stalled enough time for my team to get here. Lunox doesn't get the turtle, but she's gonna die for it. Although I believe, yeah. I kind of greeted here. I should not have been trying to kill. Because Kadita and Matilda were coming. They would have gotten her for sure. And I took it thinking I could kill her before then. So, a little bit of a misplay on me, but overall, you get the idea. Now here I am going back top to fight the Deeroth. Make sure I don't lose his top tower for free. I don't actually know if he's here or not, but I have an idea that he might be around. Now he does jump on me. Now keep in mind, I do have a 1,500 gold lead over him right now. So you can see how close this is. I end up making it a 1-for-1, which is actually a losing trade because I lost a tower. But that goes to show like how strong that counter matchup can be, where he gets my shutdown and he gets all that gold back. Now he's really close to me, only 400 down. If we rewind right here, before I died, he was at 5,000. Okay, I wasn't at 1,500. I had almost a 1,000 lead. After he got the wave, though. It was about 700 gold. But you get my point. Now, since Cici does HP-based damage, she actually does quite nice damage to Lord. And she's one of the few fighters that can actually sustain and pull the Lord and hold it, because of the HP% base damage. Now, here I am going in. I ults... Who do I ult? Yeah, I ult the Kufa right away here, because I do even a decent amount of damage to Kufa with the true damage War Axe, and then they just fall down. So that's why I like just ulting the front line with the ult if they go overextend too much, because with the War Axe damage and the bonus, you know, attacks from the ult, you actually will melt like any tank, because you are HP% based as well. So you have HP% based damage. That's also a portion of its true damage with the War Axe. It's like a tanky carry kind of. Here I am doing some damage, tanking a lot of damage as well. I get out just fine with my buoyant bounce. Still just focusing on doing some tower damage. Get jumped there. I am not really that scared of using my Purify. And even though I'm really low, Cici can sustain really, really well. So I just get my HP back up on any sort of jungle camp nearby. Anything I see around. I don't even need to recall. See Lunox diving on my Claude. Just a free kill. Now Kufra makes the mistake of going in, so I'm going to be really aggressive in return, because I can chase very, very well. He conceals. I'm still going to be aggressive, because I have very nice sustain. Even versus a carry, I have nice sustain. That's just the whole point of playing Cici. You can keep frontlining, you keep sustaining, as long as you don't go too far. And that's the you know, the trick with her. You have to know how much is too far. Now I kill him, dash out just fine. Then we all just reset. Now you can see my build right here. I'll actually pause on that really quick. I'll explain to you my items and my choice here, because not all of it is exactly how I did in the guide. So I started off with Dreadnought armor because I'm versed the Deeroth, and it's a harder matchup, and I definitely need that to counter him to help, you know, reduce his already incredible damage on me. Normal War Axe brute force, nothing too crazy there, and I opted for the Radiant instead of the Oracle, and I'll explain why. It's because I'm versus a Lunox and a Novario. Oracle doesn't give too much magic resistance, it just buffs the healing. But with, you know, Lunox damage burst, it's really annoying. The reason why I don't opt for the Athena shield in this case is because they have a Novaria who can trigger the Athena shield passive very easily with her first skill, the circle that does continuous damage. Or, you know, the ball can do big damage as well, which Athena's would help for, but it can, you know, get rid of the passive, and then Lunox would be annoying. So the Radiant is to just, you know, a middle ground to where it gives me the continuous defense to help mitigate it. Of course, it wouldn't be as good as Athena shield versus purely the Lunox, but you have to account for the passive of the Athena shield. If you're not getting any value of the passive, there's no point building it. Also, the Radiant is 300 gold cheaper than Athena shield, if you didn't know that. That's why tanks build that item first a lot. And then last item, I'm going Bloodlust here, which is like, you know, part of the build. Pretty normal. Here I am being really aggressive to the Kufra, just wasting my ult, doing some chip damage. My ult is not a long cooldown at this point of the game. It should be around like 22, 23 seconds. Just reduce Kufra's HP by half with just War Axe and one first skill ult. It's a good bit of damage. So like I said earlier, Cici can actually very easily solo hold the Lord with her percent HP based first skill. So I'm sustaining quite well versus trying to pull it to the side here, and I'm still maintaining full HP. Now we see the whole enemy team is missing, so we have an idea they're around here, and none of us really want to go check for vision. So the idea is just wait for them to, you know, try and force a fight. Here I am trying to like check, but I'm not going to go too deep, obviously, because they have a carry Lunox that would burst me. Kufra flicker jumps onto me though, so it's fine. Really nice knock up from Hoon to get both the Kufra and Lunox, and I am just tanking the front line, doing some damage, but most of all just being annoying and sustaining. Deeroth goes in, gets one, but it doesn't matter, he's gonna die. And throughout all that, you know, I just sustained it all back. My HP is already close to full, even though I got extremely low a second ago. You can see I'm not really, you know, trying to go for any hard kills. All I'm doing is zoning and poking, going in and out, in and out. I don't have to, fully committing is not what I want to do. Then carry just died top, and it's a nice GG. I believe I showed the stats as well, which you'll see in a moment. No MVP, unfortunately. But look at those stats, man. God damn. 34% damage dealt, 36% tower damage, and 34% damage taken. Almost been 34, 34, 34, but a little bit more, too much tower damage. Now you see, like, looking at the stats, let me move my camera too. Like, I had some really insane stats. Despite how rough my early game was, getting solo killed, you know, still losing, getting 1v1 as well, I still, you know, had an impact, just knowing how to play the matchup, putting pressure on the jungler. Even if I lose the 1v1, I don't have to do the 1v1. I could just do other things, like annoy the jungler, play for team fights, or just not, you know, avoid Deeroth entirely, because Deeroth will get fucked by my my mage. You know, Joy can be CC immune, you can't petri her, all that stuff. Now we'll move on to the second game, where it's a much easier game compared to this one. And here we are versus much worse players compared to the previous game, but they still try to do the same thing, especially my lane opponent here. And I'm gonna go straight for the Dreadnought armor, you know, versus the Deeroth. Now I don't like going, sometimes I'll go armor boots if the rest of the team is also armor, or how much there's not much like CC, but they have like Tigreal, Nana, they have a lot of CC. So I will go with magic boots, magic shoes, but I'm not gonna, not magic shoes, tough boots, but I'm not gonna prioritize it. So you already know this Deroth is not really that great because he didn't charge his rage or red bar energy on the jungle camp first. So already I know right away, okay, this guy either forgot to or he doesn't know what he's doing. Here he goes in, but try looking for some counter poke, but I'm fine. Level 1 though, if he doesn't charge the energy, that's already a big like red flag, and I can actually exert a lot of pressure over him because for Deroth that red energy means a lot. So if he doesn't have enough energy to do the second skill, I can be really aggressive. Still playing it safe, just first skill last hitting. He's getting pulled in, I'm just poking, even trading so far, but this time my jungler is here. He's forced to flicker, patch to back off. I'll be a little aggressive here and I get the kill. Or I don't get the kill, Veil does. Now, I did lose my cannon minion for that. You can see me just stop there because I was kind of annoyed I did. Because I was debating whether I should go for the kill or cannon minion. And honestly, I probably could have like gave the kill and just get the cannon, but hindsight is 2020. Just free tower plating. Already a much like better start compared to last game. If you don't get what the banner is going on in game, I said I wanted to shower. And then I told him I'm recording. Deroth being aggressive without energy again. I already know, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. So you can see progressively throughout this game, I started to play more and more aggressive versus Deroth because I get more confidence and I become more sure that he's not gonna be able to kill me. So again, right here, I block his dash, dude. I do some major poke damage to him. He's already really low. And I'm gonna deny him that cannon. And I'm not going to shove this wave and try and dive because diving is very dumb without my ult. So I waited for him to recall. And now I'm going to shove the wave to get some tower plating. You can see me buoyant bounce onto the backline cannon minion to try and get it quite low. So I can finish it off for the wave. Again, what I said before, if you want to clear waves faster, you should use your yo-yo blitz on the cannon minion to help clear. Then auto attack the rest. So right now, I already have a really sizable gold lead, being 1900 when he's at 1250, about 650 gold lead. So big gold lead for me already right there. And he's not running a full damage Petri build like the one previous was. So even if he's at a gold deficit, it's gonna mean a lot more for him now because he doesn't get the damage from his emblems and the spell. But still being extremely aggressive here. No flicker though, misses the ult. Quite aggressive. I purify his armor shred, and so I also slow as well, so I can run away from him. If I didn't purify right there and I got hit by that first skill and got slowed, he would have killed me. But I purified so I wouldn't be slowed by his first or second skill, which both slow, by the way. Now you can see right here, I can't guarantee the cannon minion hits with my yo-yo blitz, so I don't use the yo-yo blitz, and I just auto it until that first minion's dead. Then I use yo-yo blitz. Now here, I believe I get a little cocky because I think I can kill him, and he has flicker. So that's me getting too confident, thinking, oh, this guy's really bad, and then, oh, wait, it's a counter matchup, and he still kills me. Now you can see as well, since I did so well in lane, I did not go for the Dreadnought armor, and I just rushed the War Axe. If I had the Dreadnought armor there, I probably wouldn't have died, but... Okay, I kind of spaced out here. I gotta digest this fight a bit more. So here we are going back to the lane. We'll see a little bit of a 1v1 here. I'm charging my full War Axe stacks on that gold crab first because I want to be aggressive once with the full stacks. I'll do much more damage with it otherwise. Now he's led to believe he can go in. And I ult, well, full War Axe stacks, yo-yo blitz does an insane amount of damage, especially as soon as you get War Axe. And I just shredded him right there. Now I'll just hit the wave. You can see me target my autos onto the whole wave. Make sure it hits the whole wave so my yo-yo blitz doesn't just hit one minion. That way I clear the wave as fast as possible. Now Deroth being a little aggressive here, thinking he's fine. I ult him. And I go with full max War Axe stacks and a bit of a tower dive, and I kill him. Because I'm at this point, I'm turbo fed. I still went for the Dreadnought armor to help reduce his damage, even though he's behind, because it still will hurt. And then I will go for the brute force normal build. I do a purify if this gets really bad. I use it right here because the Nana combo with the Guinevere. Deroth flickers, misses, so I go in for the re-engage. Big damage, but I see the whole team there. I still kill Deroth and I get out. That's just my insane Cici's mobility. Insane Cici's mobility, not even my mobility. And this game is looking to be a bit of a stomp, but, you know, I'm just showing you the stark difference between, you know, knowing what you're doing versus Cici, and knowing what you're doing playing Cici versus someone who doesn't know what they're doing. Two complete opposites here. Of course, with both games, I know what I'm doing on the hero. The only difference is how much they know what they're doing versus me. Me as in Cici. Now, I got full War Axe stacks versus the Deeroth. And something you might not know is how easy it is to tower dive for someone who's behind and you have War Axe. I literally just full HP'd him with 2 first skills there. 2 Yo-Yo Blitz cycles. He doesn't have much armor, just armor boots. But I have brute force bonus damage and War Axe damage. And here I am keeping full War Axe stacks, or at least trying to. So I'm ready to pounce on anyone that I see. Keeping your War Axe stacks and your passive stacks, very important. I go in for a little bit of aggression here with Joy. Can't really chase that wall. I have to Purify, otherwise Nana Stun will kill me under tower. Now, the rest of this game is pretty much a stomp, but I'll just explain to you, you know, mechanics of things that I'm doing. I'm extremely fast, so I can be aggressive under towers. A lot of times you will see me take tower shots. It's because I don't care. I'll just sustain it back right away. Or just go back to like a jungle camp and sustain right away. So a lot of times I'll be trying to keep my stacks up just by taking tower shots and hitting the tower. But I don't have Purify right now, so I don't want to be too aggressive because I could get CC chained by Guinevere or Nana. So without your Purify, if you're going versus heavy CC comps, you know, like, don't be aggressive. I forgot to mention that this game I am running the Purify because of how much CC they have. Guinevere, Tigreal, Nana, like a ludicrous amount. And it's working really well. It saved me a lot of times. Probably would have a lot more deaths this game if it weren't for the Purify. Me being super aggressive in their faces, because at this point I'm just unkillable with Bloodlust Axe and Hyper Sustain. I'm just gonna run it down, you know? Look at me go. Going crazy out here. They just killed Nana full HP with just 1 ult and Yo Blitz. Again, I am like insanely fed at this point. Just in their faces, I don't even care. And what's nice about Cici is since you play so far away, it's rare to even have the anti-heal triggered on you if they're running dominance. It's probably Cici's biggest counter item is just going an actual anti-heal item. Okay, that Tigreal outplayed me there. Like Sea Halberd or Necklace to actually, you know, prolong anti-heal and not just momentary when they're next to you. And this game's just over at this point, so we're just gonna end it here. And I'll go to the stats. You can see with how aggressive I am, really nice stats. 30% damage taken, 27% damage dealt, and here, 27% tower damage, 27% damage dealt. It's actually similar as the previous game where I had 2 of the same stats and 1 that was different. But you get the idea. I hope you learned a lot watching this video and my commentary over it. Honestly, with how much negative feedback Cici has been getting recently by the community since her launch, I think Moontown will give Cici a buff of some sorts, big or small. And after those buffs, I'm pretty sure she will be super broken, even though I already think she's good right now. I spent a lot of time working on this, and it's the first time I'm doing this sort of video, so I appreciate any feedback, and if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and sub. Thank you for watching.